Alright, welcome everybody. If this is your first time in, welcome. My name is The Credible Jeff, coming to you from the Shuffle Table. In today's video, this is going to be an extensive look-through guide on, it's a OP09 guide on how to play and beat meta. I play regularly with tournaments. I play locals nights. I've been playing One Piece TCG for the past 2-3 years now, so I figured I'd maybe bring some insight to those who are wanting to get into competitive. This is not an extensive video or a one-on-one guide on how to play One Piece, but more so how to strategize, how to build decks. I'd like to say I'd start with picking a leader and going from there. If this is for competitive though, things that I like to keep in mind, like any other TCG format, there's outlets or information out there that can inform you on what decks are winning the tournaments, regional, national. So One Piece is worldwide. It's just split into two different formats, one in Asia East and the other one in West. So right now we're on OP09, so this guide will be the guide to OP09. We'll leave the OP10 stuff alone right now. So if we take a look at One Piece top decks, right now we're still seeing Luffy as number 1, and we see Luffy as number 2. Same thing over here at Limitless. If we just go take a look at metagame deck list, Doflamingo is sitting at number 1 and Luffy number 2. Um, Luffy, Bonnie, Nami. Um, it's wild seeing a Nell so high, but the two decks I was gonna focus on was gonna be Luffy, Black, Yellow. So we'll go ahead and pull that up, and then I was gonna go over Blackbeard. So those would be the two meta decks that if you could learn your combos, learn what the cards are extensively do, strategize like how to win the game, depending, and then I would maybe look into all leaders. No good playing Blackbeard unless we know how to stop on-play effects, and with that we need to know what on-play cards are coming from our challenger, if I may say. So starting with Luffy, it's a black-yellow leader. Your face-up life cards are placed at the bottom of your deck instead of being added to your hand according to the rules. You'll attach 2 Dawn to Luffy, activate main once per turn, trash 1 card from hand. If you have 0 life cards, add 2 character cards with a cost of 5 from your hand, or trash to the top or of your life cards face up. So that's important to know whenever you have face-up life. If you do get hit, those will be sent to the bottom of your deck. But just take a look. These are core cards. It gives you a percent on what, on average, based off of tournaments, what people are using. So on average, people run 3 Kuzans, about 92% of players, 100% of players. So I'd always start with maybe that to take a look at what. Take a look at what is a requirement or imperative to make the deck viable. So let's back up here and we'll take a look at Blackbeard before we move forward. Same thing here. In case you're not familiar, your leader here, your on-play effects are negated. So if you have any cards with on-play effects, they don't work in this leader. His ability, activate main, you may trash 1 card from your hand. Your opponent's on-play effects are negated until the end of your opponent's next turn, so you pretty much pass that curse on to someone else. They can't play on-play effects. And then it doesn't work with leaders like Sanji. Now unless some people tend to run heavy on-play in red, but the one I was playing against was activate mains. We'll get more into kryptonites for Blackbeard and Luffy later, maybe depending on how well or bad I do in the coming matches. So first things first, we're gonna go over here to the TCG Onepiece TCG sim. I've got it actually cleared out, so we'll go ahead and create the decks first. Starting with the leader, we'll add him in here, and as I add the characters, I'll go through each card and explain maybe why I'm adding them in here or the imperativeness to it. Like, more than likely, I'm adding Blackbeard cards in here for searching cards that allow me to pull Blackbeard. Everything synergizes with Blackbeard leader, and most of them don't have, actually, all of them don't have on play abilities. So we'll start with Van Augur. You need 4 of these. Activate main. You're going to rest this character. If your leader has Blackbeard Pirates, give up to one of your opponent's characters -3 cost for this turn, and then on KO, draw a card. Jesus Burgess. So this character cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effects. So, um, I mean, clearly blue can still remove bottom decking. Some of black cards can trash. Um, it's very particular in the wording, but if it says KO'd, Burgess is free from any KO. Next up is we need 4 of each. These are our 2K counters. Now some decks are only running 2, but again, that's maybe more so for OP10. But he add 1 Dawn when attacking, draw 2, trash 2. This is very important when building up Burgess. And just to let you know, this leader gains 1,000 power for every 4 cards in your trash. So, between Shinryu, that's trashing cards, and then also Finger Pistol that will be trashing cards. We'll go over that later. Moving forward, I got Stronger, 2K counter. You trash 1 card from hand, and this character will activate main. This is meaning he'll be on board. If your leader has Blackbeard type, draw a card, then give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost. So, um, that's cool. You're trashing a card from hand. You're sending him from the board to the trash. So that's 2 cards you just sent to trash. And you're also drawing a card and giving a -2 cost. Um, Very valuable for this deck. Next up is Dot Q. Activate main. He's very simple. Rest him and KO him. So you're gonna rest him and KO up to someone that's a 1 cost or lower, and then when he's KO'd, you'll draw a card. Next up is Vasco Shot. You're only gonna run 2 of these, and situational too. You could get rid of him, but he's a Blackbeard pirate and a blocker, and he's only a 2 cost. Next up, I don't think any of us have to question why, but he's Marshall D. Teach is what runs the deck. You need 4 of these. They're 10 drop of 12,000 power. He is a blocker. You'll activate main once per turn, but this really only works on the turn that he's played. If your leader has Blackbeard, and if this character was played this turn, up to one of your opponent's leader's effects are negated for the rest of this turn, then up to one of your opponent's character's effects are negated until the end of your opponent's next turn. That character can also not attack. It's important to remember they're not frozen, so they're not stuck in rested mode. So they do untap when it goes back to the challenger or your the other player's turn. Um, Whoops, the daisies. Let me pull that back up. I'm not sure if that's saved or not. No, so oops. I accidentally clicked the close button. Alright. Let's get back to where we were. Alright, moving forward, Lafayette, you need 4 of these. I know in OP10 I've seen decks only run 2, but you're gonna rest him, spend a Dawn. So for 2 Dawn on the turn he's played, you can spend 1 to play him, spend 1 to rest him, and then you're just gonna look at 5 cards off your deck and pull a Blackbeard Pirate. Skipping these. This card will be important for OP10 and later to come, but for now we're just gonna stick to OP09 meta. Um, this is my age, I think 4. Liberation 3. They're both named Liberation? Hmm. There might be a mess up there. That might be called Black Hole. And then we run 3 of those. So I'll know more once I build it. It'll come together. I know I got Jack in here, so I'll run 2 of those. And then I need another 4 cards, which will be the... Who are we missing? Oh, okay, yeah. So I don't use Laboon. He's too pricey. I don't feel like putting a $20 card in my deck. Deck saved. So we run 3 of these Hachinosus, not too many. Half the time I find myself discarding or trashing them, but if it is in play, it can come in handy when you're in late game and you're looking for your Blackbeards. Let's say it just became your turn, you don't have a Blackbeard in hand, but you have 10 Dawn. Well, just tap this, trash a card, and there's another gamble. You can pull 3 cards, and hopefully one of those might be a Blackbeard. Shockwave I run because of Dofi right now. I will get rid of these 4 whenever the 10-drop Kuzan or that 6-drop Kuzan, or I'm not sure actually how much he costs, but he'll replace these Shockwaves for me. I'll probably pull 1 off of the finger and then take off 2 jacks, and that will add the liberation for the new event card. But so there's our deck for Blackbeard. Jack, I didn't go over him, but you rest him, you'll draw a card and trash 1 card from hand, then KO up to one of your opponent's cost 3 or lower characters. While he's on board, this character has +4 cost, so he's sitting at 11. As far for And that's important for people that play removal. If you're running Black, Smoker, Lucci, or if you're trying to bring my cost down, it works well for my cost count, but it doesn't matter whenever Red's removing characters. Let's say um, a card that removes a character for 6,000 power or under, that's a little bit different. But so let's go ahead and bring up Luffy. We'll load, and he's a black yellow, so we'll start with Luffy. Leader, and I'm pretty excited to see these new cards coming. But again, we'll get into that maybe in a future video. For now, let's just go ahead and add our 4 Luffys. 4 of each. That's 12. These activate main. Place this character in your trash. If your life is at 2 or less, KO up to one of your opponent's cost 4 or less characters, and then draw a card. That's awesome for this deck, especially when you're trying to build a discard or a trash, and that be your 5 cost Luffy's or your Sabos or even Aces if that's what you're running in there. But it's important to remember this only works if you're at 2 or less life. You can activate main and still trash him, but he's not going to KO anybody. Next up would be the 2 cost Luffy. You can trash this character, reveal the top card of your life. If the card is a 5 cost monkey card, you may play it. If you play it, up to one of your leaders gets plus 2,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So that means after your opponent's end of his turn, it comes back to you. That's when it goes away, the buff does. So we have those 4. Next up, let's go to Sabo. We'll run 4 of these. Same thing as Luffy. You're just gonna pull a Sabo out of the life, and then go up to 2,000, adding 2,000 to your leader. I run 2 of these Sabos, very situational, but they can come in handy, especially when I'm trying to it can either be life, I don't mind it being bottom decked, and then knowing how so many people know or understand the black yellow Luffy leader, they're not going to attack you, so I need as many viable options to pull my life down so I can keep the game moving forward and not being stuck like a stalemate, or me not just moving. Sometimes people can stall me out, and that's where I have a hard time. Next up, 3 brothers. I have 3 of these. I have a Kuzan, so we'll have 3 of these. The black 3-cost Namis. I run 2 of those. And then I have a Shirahoshi that I run 2 of those. I know most people only run 1. I've got the Rego. I think I run 2 of those. Monkey D Garp. Makino. Now I don't have Flampes because I just haven't bought her yet, so I'm still running the 4 Makinos. Hiyori. We run 4 of those. And I'm only missing 4 more cards. Let me take a look at this. What am I missing? Gecko Moria. Okay. Awesome. These are the last of the cards. This is my deck that I run in locals and tournaments. Instead of the Flampe, I've got Makino. That's only because of price, but if you have the money, go ahead and put the Flampes in there. They pull a card from life and let you draw, so you'll have a bigger hand essentially. Kuzan, he's on play, draw a card, and then when he's attacking, -4 to cost. Sabo, draw 2, trash 2, and then your characters can't be KO'd by effects until the start of your next turn. Gecko Moria makes this deck meta. I don't think any of us need to, like, we all know it's pulling cards out of your trash. He can combo Shirahoshi, he can combo Nami, he can combo the 2-cost boys, and they then too can bring in Luffy or Sabos. He can even drop in a Hiyori and a Hiyori pulling from life. Um, there's so many options that this deck allows as far as combos go, and that's where the fun comes in. So we'll go ahead and save, and let's just go ahead and get to it. We'll start with Black Yellow Luffy, and I'm just gonna go ahead and quick join without choosing. I think since I've implemented these new cards, it might be imperative for us to try and get a little bit better with his combos and knowing how he works. Mulligan, I'd really like a mulligan for this card here. I really wanted a 3-cost Nami, especially going against a red. Feel like a blocker on field isn't. Yeah. So 2 Sabos are going to the bottom of deck. So in this game or this matchup, it's we'll only be working with 2 Sabos here. So we'll let him have that. I want my life down. Draw a card. We're at 4. Any possible combos here? I'm not seeing any, so I'll just go ahead and get the, I could play it aggressively and just go ahead and do this. So I attached 3 Dawn to Garp, swing for 5 just to put some heat on him. He discarded 2 cards, so he would have been at 8 cards right now had I not played that. Alright, so we're sitting at 6 Dawn. Do I see any? I don't have a Kid Sabo, so there's no combo I can really play. I guess I could search. Alright, so I could do this. We'll play Hero. We'll play Hiyori. Use card action. Take the top of my life. And we'll actually add that back. So that way I can play this Luffy to play him. And we'll go ahead and trash him. And we'll go ahead and get rid of Flampe, so we don't want nothing on his board. Next turn will be at 8 Dawn. And with that turn, I'm just going to go ahead and play Nami and Asabo. And I played the 2K because I knew he was going to swing again at me. I do want him to take my life down, but so let's think. Trash a card from hand. Yeah, let's go ahead and play the Sabo out. Trashing 2/5 cost. 3, 4, yep. And let's go ahead and play. Ooh, I don't have a Luffy here. I thought I did, so I would have just played him behind that. I could play Shirahoshi. Let's think about this. I could also play this blocker here. So then that really allows me to swing with more. He'll have a end turn. So I've got 2 blockers, 1 life, and I'm sitting at 2,000 plus power until my turn. So he'll have to at least swing for 7 to be able to really do anything. Meanwhile, let's take a look at our discard. So next drop, I'm going to play Gecko. So let's think about what we want to remove from his board. I'm hoping, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and pull a Sabo and a Luffy out. That's what I had meant to do before. Real question is, do I want to block? Yeah. And then we'll add him to my trash. Draw card, draw Dawn. So, let's think about this. What's he at? Activate main once per turn. Give up to 1 rested Dawn card to your leader or one of your characters. Let's think here. So I know I'm going to deploy him regardless. And I only see... The real question is, how do we want to play this? We're going to need to play him and him. We'll play smart this turn. Adding 2 Dawn to Luffy, trashing 1 from hand. The card I'm going to trash will be Shirahoshi. That way I will play... We'll go ahead and pull Sabo out of life. And let's trash 1 of these and 1 of these. Reason why, because if I don't want to stalemate myself. I don't have a baby Luffy inside of my hand, but if I happen to have that life by next turn, I would like to play a Luffy just in case I don't have a Gecko. So I can go ahead and start the whole process again of building my life again and getting ready for the next turn. So we'll go ahead and swing. And we'll end turn. So I'm looking good now. No one can be KO'd. I also have Luffy here. I forgot. He can actually activate main once per turn and pull life off of life. He'll go up to 8,000 power. So it gives him plus 2,000 power. Now let's think about what he's going to swing on me with. I I do want to take that, I think. Because I don't Yeah, let's take that. And if he's smart, maybe he won't swing at me because he sees that there's two. Oh no, you need 9 to actually do anything. So yeah, he can't do anything. We'll go ahead and gain the 2,000 for free. Since I'm not at 1 or more life, I don't lose life. I can, however, go ahead and attach these two, trashing a 5 cost like always, because we want to keep it going. So for this one, this will be the gamble, but we want a baby Luffy. So here he is. We will play Luffy over Garp. We're moving this Luffy. We will trash Zoro. So we'll swing for 9. We'll swing for 8. And that would have been cool if I would have been able to pull a baby Luffy. That's what I was looking for there. But we didn't. And let's just go ahead and attach all these Dawn and swing for 13. So he's down to my life. I've got 2 blockers on field with 1 life. So he'll need to hit me 3 times before taking anything from 0 life. I'm also at 7,000, so for him to do anything, he needs to swing for 7 and higher. In which I have 2 2K counters, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable. If he swings for 9, I can use a 2 and a 1. If he swings for 8, I can just use a single 2. So like so, a 2K counter. And I don't have the Luffy here, but let's go ahead and send him to trash because I do have a Sabo here in hand. So again, I'll pull Sabo right back out of trash. And how cool would it have been to pull a alright. So we will add 2 Dawn to Luffy, trash 1, again the 5 cost. I have 2 Sabos, I don't have 2 Sabos up here, so we'll just make do with what we got. Deploy. Select 2 to trash. We don't want to trash the 2K. I will trash Sabo, and I could get Shirahoshi out there, but at the same time, I could also deploy him over Garp and draw a card. Maybe adding these 2 Dawn to somebody. We'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and swing 8. 9. So hopefully he'll counter out. And then that leaves me with an opening. Let's see. I've got 2 2K counters. We're sitting at 7. Do I swing with um, Sabos? Is what I was thinking. But he more likely had the counter out. He could have just used a 2K. And I don't think it's worth the gamble. Okay, so he's trashing a. That leaves him with 3 Dawn. 7 over. Yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of dude. And let's go ahead and actually KO or counter out of that because I will use Luffy's ability to draw a card. Ooh, so this is what we needed. Yeah, I was about to say I didn't think it would go that easy, but I was going to attach all 10 Dawn to the Luffy leader and then just go all in, swinging for 15. Um, or I could have played the Gecko Moria for 8, pulling 2 Sabos out of the trash, using leader ability, adding Sabos to life, and then quintessentially I'd be up at 9. Um, and then whatever Dawn is left, I could, if that'd be the 2 Dawn, so 9, 10, 11. I could swing for 11. So either way, I don't know if he could have got out of all that. No. And that's quintessentially a rundown on how to play with Luffy. Um, it was just to get get a basic understanding on how to play your graveyard. Maybe if you see what I was doing in some of those critical situations, which got me out of the hole and mess I was in, and I know in that game it looked like I was about to lose. So that's what I love about that leader, Luffy. I feel it's probably one of the most comfortable that I've ever felt with 0 life. I think Anel is the same way. You know, Anel can be sitting there with 1 life and he's having a good time. So lastly, let's move on over to Blackbeard. Um, with Blackbeard here, oh there it is. Look, we're going against Anel. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do on this. So, uh, we will keep hand. All right. Um, that's wild. And yeah, he may have a Charlotte Pudding or a, okay, Flampe. So he's pulling his own life. Let's see. So what I want to do is build a bigger hand for late game. Um, I want a Burgess, obviously. And let's go ahead and get his life down a little bit. He'll probably take it. Um, Next turn he'll be at 6, so that's when I will want to play my leader ability. And I see Anel's gotten a lot of support coming from OP10, so that's pretty exciting. Always give it to him because now that Lafayette went to trash, I'm now sitting at 4. I want 4 because every 4 brings him up 1,000 power. That is this deck. It's always keep in mind what is your goal, what is your plan, and how are you trying, like how are you gonna win? So I want to go. Let's get rid of Flampe. Um, I have 5 Dawn. It's important to think about the direction we want to take. So let's just get him out there. We'll trash 1 card from hand, and that stops his on plays, so that way he can't play Nico Robin to remove life from me. and then swing, so it feels like I'm taking 2 life. I'd just rather him add all that Dawn to him and swing at me, so it wastes a turn and get us closer to 10 Dawn. So I'm at 4, 5. So next turn I'll be at 7. Um, Next turn I will be at 7. He is a 5 cost. So first things first, we're gonna play Finger Pistol. Let's get rid of him. That trash is 2 cards to my from my deck to my trash. So if you see, Burgess just went up another 2,000. And I'm thinking, let's go ahead and send him out here. So that way, when I add 1 to him and he swings, we'll trash 2 more cards, draw 2 cards, keep that whole cycle going. I will swing. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but it's too late. What's he at, a 4? Let's get rid of this. Stop on play, because now um, he could play, um, Kudakari, like I think, um, once every turn rush, so he can attack. Katakuri, I was thinking. So Katakuri can come out 8 cost, and he will send someone like Burgess to my life. That's a way to get Burgess off the board. And again, I'll take this. Use trigger. Let's pull .q in, and I will go ahead and use 1k. A 2 and a 1, I think. Yeah. Mm, so I could swing at him, and he will take that and add to his life, because that's his leader ability. So pretty much I just gave him a free card. But I'm gonna swing for 10 next turn. So he'll need 2, 4. So get rid of 3 cards. Oh, okay. I forgot about that one. So 2 cards can let him out of that. And let's move on. He is black hole, so he can't use Big Mom. He can't use Rush Ace. Like, he can, but he's not gonna gain the life. He will play the ace and probably come at me, which he can have it. Um, yeah, no problem. And maybe a rush. Draw a card. So, draw Dawn. Let's just go ahead and nullify leader ability. And let's go ahead and just block him. Now you have to KO out of it or counter because, um, yeah, actually you don't have a leader ability. And in turn, yes. I don't think he saw that coming. Cause, oh no. He can't attack with him. He can attack 2 times. Let's think about this. Um, this is gonna be the gamble because 2, 3. He can add 2 Dawn to Nami. Um, no blocker, but we'll go ahead and counter out. Hey, we won. We barely pulled that one out, but There it is. That's quintessentially how to play with um, both of these leaders in meta. At least, let me rephrase that. Those are meta leaders that if you're new to One Piece, maybe strategize, get used to these decks, and they can help you. If you feel like you're taking too many losses in locals nights, pick up one of these two. The point of this stream or this video was to show people how I play. And I mean, I'm not a pro, I'm not the best. I do play some ranked battles, I do play some tournaments and locals nights, but I'm just your average player. And so let this be shown that an average player was playing these decks, and maybe we can take some pointers. But stay tuned. My next video or live stream is going to be meme decks. So we covered two meta decks. The next video, we're going to cover two meme decks. And I think the two that we're going to bring up are going to be Blue Buggy and Black Yellow Big Mom. Or maybe Uda, Film Green. I don't know. Someone once told me a meme deck is anything that's not meta. What do you think? Just leave a comment in the comment section below. And like always, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and until next time, see you soon.